Our world is a wonderful place full of life and beauty. From the highest mountains to the deepest oceans, everything is connected. We humans are part of this amazing natural system. For a long time, we have used the Earth's resources to build our homes, grow our food, create our societies. But we must ask ourselves an important question. Can we continue to live this way forever? Sustainability is the answer. It is a simple but powerful idea. It means living in a way that meets our needs today without taking away the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. It is a promise we make to our children and grandchildren. Imagine a large, beautiful tree. For the tree to be strong and healthy, it needs good soil, clean water, and bright sunlight. If we take too much water or damage its roots, the tree will become weak. In the same way, our planet needs care. Sustainability teaches us that a healthy economy, a fair society, and a clean environment are all connected. We cannot have one without the others. This idea of balance is not new, but it became very important in recent history. The journey towards sustainability is like building a great bridge. At first, we only had small pieces to connect our present with a better, safer, and more beautiful future for all living things on this magnificent planet. Our journey begins in 1987, a very important year for our planet. A special report called the Brundtland Report was published. This report introduced a new idea to the world: sustainable development. It said we must think about the future and imagine our grandchildren. Just 2 years later, in 1989, the World Bank added to this idea. It began to talk about intergenerational equity, a simple idea of fairness. Our generation should not use up all the Earth's treasures. We must leave enough for future generations. Then, in 1991, 3 major environmental groups came together: IUCN, UNEP, WWF. They looked at sustainability from nature's angle. They warned the planet has limits. Our ecosystems, forests and oceans, can only produce so much. They can only absorb so much pollution. These groups said we needed to change our lifestyles and live within the planet's carrying capacity. These early ideas were like seeds planted in different parts of a garden. The Brundtland Report planted the seed of thinking about the future. The World Bank planted the seed of fairness between generations and people. The environmental groups planted the seed of respecting nature's limits. Each idea was powerful and true, but still separate. The world was still looking to connect all the dots and see the full picture. The year 1992 was a milestone. Leaders from all over the world gathered in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, for the Earth Summit. This was a huge meeting, a sign that the world was ready to act. Here, everyone agreed that sustainability had 3 main parts, or pillars: the economy, society, the environment. The leaders at the Rio Earth Summit declared that a healthy future depended on balancing all 3. In 1997, many nations came together in Japan and created the Kyoto Protocol. This was a historic agreement. For the first time, countries agreed to a plan to reduce the harmful gases that were warming our planet. The Kyoto Protocol was important because it was not just a promise, it was about action and measurement. As the world entered a new millennium in the year 2000, the United Nations launched 2 more groundbreaking initiatives. The first was the UN Global Compact. This was a call to businesses around the world. It asked companies to promise to follow 10 important principles on human rights, labor, the environment, and fighting corruption. At the same time, the UN also introduced the Millennium Development Goals, or MDGs. This was a set of 8 ambitious goals to be achieved by 2015. The MDGs focused on people. They brought the world together to fight for a better life for the poorest people on Earth, focusing the world's energy on solving some of the biggest social challenges we faced as a global family. The Millennium Development Goals, or MDGs, really changed the way the world worked. For 15 years, from 2000 to 2015, governments, charities, and communities focused on these 8 clear targets. The goals were all about improving human lives. They aimed to cut poverty in half, get more children into primary school, provide more people with clean drinking water. The MDGs showed that when the world works together with a clear plan, we can make incredible progress. Millions of lives were improved, and a new sense of hope and partnership spread across the globe. However, the MDGs also showed us that our work was not complete. While they were very successful in many areas, they mostly focused on the problems of developing countries. They were seen as goals for the poor, paid for by the rich. The environmental pillar of sustainability, which was so important at the Rio Earth Summit, was not fully integrated. For example, how can a community have good health if its water source is polluted? How can a farmer escape poverty if climate change is destroying their crops? It became clear that a truly sustainable future required a plan that connected everything. Each piece was like a different color of paint. The world was now ready to mix all these colors together to paint one beautiful, complete picture of our future. In 2015, something wonderful happened. The United Nations introduced the Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs. This was the moment when all the separate ideas finally came together under one big, colorful umbrella. The SDGs are a set of 17 goals that build on the lessons of the past. They are not just about poverty or the environment or the economy. They are about all of it, all at once. First, they are universal. This means they are for every country, rich and poor. Sustainability is not someone else's problem. It is everyone's responsibility. Second, the goals are all interconnected. You cannot achieve one goal without considering the others. This shows us that we must work on everything together, because in the real world, everything is connected. Think of the SDGs as a recipe for a better world, needing economic opportunity, social justice, and environmental protection. The SDGs gave us the complete recipe for the first time, showing us how all the ingredients must be mixed together perfectly to create a future that is good for everyone. The SDGs give us a roadmap, a shared vision for the kind of world we want to create by 2030. The future of our beautiful planet is in our hands. By working together, with these goals as our guide, we can build a world that is more fair, more peaceful, and more full of wonder for all the generations that will follow us.